And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I do see we've got a couple of lurkers hiding in chat. Don't be afraid to pop in and say hi. Hi, Brian. How are you tonight? And Kaz G, how's it going? And Microman, how are you doing tonight? And Kaz, ooh, that just sounds horrible. And Microman, definitely feel free to have a drink of that Christmas apple juice for me. And MJ, how you doing tonight? Donnie G, good to see you, man. And MJ, I'm good. Crypto Queen, how you doing tonight? And Edward, how are you doing this evening? Good to see you guys again. And Yort, how are you doing this evening?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast, the live stream edition, and thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the dark side of the podcast. The Podocasts is your home for rational crypto news and objectivity, leaving emotion at the door and talking about what we like, why we like it, and where we see it going. We are not offering financial advice. We are telling you what we do, and that is all. We don't slow down. We don't let up. Full speed is our only speed. I am your host, Scott, pragmatic investor who has won and lost fortunes. And joining me, as always, is the greatest producer of all time. We got the Bell. How you doing tonight, Bell?
I'm definitely doing better than I was yesterday.
Is the jaw feeling better? Are the teeth starting to set their roots back in again? Are you good to go?
I'm good to go. I'm good to go.
and clearly, as you guys saw when I flipped the frames because our Zoom was out of sync, we also have Emery on tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause. Guys, we have put the band back together. So for any of your fundamental, foundational financial questions, we got Emery, and if you want to talk about Jackal, he might do that as well. We have a tendency here at the Podocasts to talk about what others are not talking about and bringing the focus onto use case cryptos because, as we know, these are what drive the market and bring innovation to a world that desperately needs it. The status quo is no longer acceptable. It's time for a technological revolution. Welcome to crypto and welcome back to the podcast and a third round of the applause. You're killing me. You're killing me tonight, guys. I can't thank you. Can't thank you enough. I got a weird thing going on here. I got the crown replaced, and this is actually a funny story. The dentist, I'd never met her before. I don't know who has a regular dentist aside from what should be everybody. But I walked in, she's a tiny little dentist. And I didn't know how much pressure you could actually put on something to shove it down in there. But I was having I'm a big fan of vaudevillian comedy. I love vaudeville. I never get tired of it. But it harkened me back to some W.C. Field, some really old W.C. Field stuff, and one of them was the dentist. And I had this visual of her just slamming her knee in my chest, shoving my head back, and just wrenching that son of a bitch down there. And when it went, this popping sound went through my head, and I freaked. I lost my shit. I'm not good at the dentist, I will admit. It's an irrational fear of the dentist, but I have it. So when I heard that, all I had was this visual in my head of all of my teeth exploding, and I don't even know her putting on a black witch's hat and just cackling at me. I thought that it was something. That's what's going through my head. Obviously, the rational part of myself is saying, "Nah. I'm sure it's fine. If she didn't freak, I'm sure it's gonna be okay." My monologue got completely derailed. Absolutely derailed, guys. So I'm pulling this one off the cuff, but I hope you're going to enjoy it. Again, we don't really script here, but we're going to start with a giveaway right now. For the very first person that can name, I'm going to send 10 Jackal. 10 Jackal. I'm going to send 10 Jackal to the very first person who can type in all the names of the Backstreet Boys. First person to type in the name of all the Backstreet Boys gets 10 Jackal. I think that's a fair one, Belle. Where are you thinking on this one? I think it's a good question. This is something that everybody should know. I have no idea, but what it was is Belle picked a song for us to listen to during the pregame here, and now it's kind of stuck in my head. So it's been a sleepy day in crypto, guys. It's yesterday was a sleepy day. Today was a sleepy day. For those of you who have been in crypto for a while, I'm pretty sure that you're probably noticing something right now that you haven't seen in a while. And what it is effectively absolutely flat Bitcoin. Now, we have not seen that for a good long while. I'm going to illustrate it right here. So this is on the 15-minute window. But from here, which was 11:12 to today, which is 11:18, Bitcoin has effectively not changed at all in 6 days, aside from a little pump, a little dump. But Bitcoin has been absolutely flat, 100% flat for 6 days. So it got me thinking about velocity of money. Now, guys, look, man, this is kind of like Econ 02 stuff, but you know what? We're going to try to keep it. I'm going to try to get my point across on this.
There's we have a winner.
Do we have
already.
A winner? Who do we got?
Have a winner already. We've got Monero Dinero.
Monero Dinero. Big round of applause. Monero Dinero. send your wallet address. All I want is your Jackal wallet address, and you send it over to Bella at ThePodocasts.com. Send her the wallet address, and when it comes to me, you're going to end up with 10 fresh Jackal in your wallet. Now, I don't give financial recommendations on this channel because I'm not Richard Hart. Bamry, did you like that? Did you like it? You can say it. That's funny. I don't give financial advice on this channel. However, if you happen to pick up 10 free Jackal that are kind of sitting there, you know what? 832 is probably not a bad place to look. All right. So we were discussing velocity of money and why this matters, why this actually matters. Something happens when money slows down. All right, now this is it's not even a psychological effect. It's a kind of like a mathematical effect. In fact, we got Emery on here. He will give you the formula. The problem, one of the things that happens when money slows down is people start losing a relative value for it. Now, Bitcoin is incredibly, it's obvious when this thing happens. When there's an awful lot of action on this, and I'm going to let Emery jump in. You know, I might even let Emery. You know what? We're going to do something we haven't done here on the podcast. Emery, I don't want to take any of your thunder, so I'm going to hand this over to Emery, and Emery is going to explain to you guys velocity of money and why you're seeing what you're seeing right now. So, Emery, if you could, sir, please take it away, do the monologue, and talk to the entire audience here about the velocity of money.
I'm doing the whole monologue?
You got 4 minutes.
4 minutes to talk about that. I think I can fill it in less than half that time.
Okay, but you're going to take 4 minutes because you wanted this, and here it is, man. Come on, dazzle me, Emery.
All right. So Scott mentioned something called the velocity of money, and all that is just how often money exchanges hands. You can go to your Econ Wikipedia or your Investopedia or what have you, and it'll tell you it's just how often and how quickly money exchanges hands from one person or one entity to the next. And why that's an important concept in economics is because it is also a determination of price. So the determination of price along with the supply of money will kind of give you a function that will help you understand how quickly money is exchanging hands. So, for example, as Scott mentioned, typically a high velocity of money value means that money is exchanging hands very often, and that's good for price stability. And the reason it's good for price stability is because, again, as Scott mentioned, we have an idea of what something is worth, right? And if that goes away or slows down too much, that will begin to affect the price. And the reason it affects the price is because we kind of lose our understanding of how much that is worth. So if we only trade Bitcoin, say, 10 times a day, you can only imagine how volatile it is because no one knows what to pay for it. Only 10 trades have gone on in that entire day, and you have no idea whether someone's going to overpay or underpay for that asset. But if Bitcoin is trading hundreds or thousands of or hundreds of thousands of times a day, it's easier to get a handle on how much it's worth because people are trading at a regular interval, or at least often enough, so that the next person who gets Bitcoin knew how much the last person paid for it, and how much the last person paid for it is probably what it's worth. So the more often money exchanges hands, the more easily it is understood about how much that asset would be to you. So keeping that in mind, the velocity of money is a super important concept. It's not mentioned very often because it's not like an important metric that you see that's going on, but you will see how many trades are happening in an order book. If you ever look at an actual order book and see those trades going on, all the buys, all the sells, that is the velocity of money in action. It's telling you how much and when these trades are happening. So I would keep that in mind whenever you take a look at an order book. If you see that order book is going by quickly, you see orders being filled every second or so, I would count that as a good thing because it means that people are willing to trade it. And if people are willing to trade it, that means that most everyone has kind of an understanding of how much this asset's worth and what price that you are willing to pay for it and what price someone else is willing to sell for it.
And
How's
you
that,
know what,
Scott?
dude? We could not have timed that better, because the very second that you said that, we got a candle. The very second you
Really?
said that, we absolutely got a candle. So that's a price chart versus the depth chart. Now, anybody who's familiar with the depth chart should be looking at this and say, boy, isn't that interesting? So even though this is an incredibly favorable chart, nobody's really gulping up too much of it right now, because, again, look at this over the last 6 days. Now, if you're going to look at a chart, you can get a lot of value out of this one, because what you're seeing is an absolutely, effectively, for Bitcoin, an incredibly flat chart. There is not much money moving on here right now, and if you've been looking at it, I look at it all day, guys. I'm a crypto guy. This is what I do. I don't really speculate in Bitcoin. It's not my thing, but I know that there's a whole big segment of crypto people that live and die by that little chart right there. Typically, they're leverage traders. Now, over the last 6 days, they have not made or lost a lot of money, because Bitcoin has not, longs and shorts weren't really filling during this time, man. It's just when it's flat, everybody kind of sits it out. The bear on this one is the people who were making an awful lot of money was, let's use an example of DYDX. Emery, good question for you. Why was DYDX the most profitable entity for leverage traders over the last 6 days? Why were they the most profitable?
Well, I would say it's because, well, two reasons. I would say one, speculation, and two, Bitcoin hasn't done a whole lot lately. So when you expect a short or a long and it doesn't come, you lose on that bet. And the people who take the profits is the platform. So
yes,
DYDX takes your losses.
They're just gulping them up. And for the people who are indecisive and are not about to that are not about to get liquidated.
That interest racks up.
That interest, that's what I was looking for, dude. The longer you stay in a leverage trade, the more money you pay for it, the wider your profit gap gets. The longer you stay, this is why we don't talk about it here. It's nothing that I would ever recommend. So, but you guys ask me so many questions about this stuff. Look, man, the most profitable entity in a flat market is brokerage or option house, man. They're just sitting there collecting interest on money that's not moving. It's glorious for them. So when you combine the velocity of money with let's say a 10x option, dude, you are screwed from the word go on this one. Absolutely screwed, because you've already committed. You're paying the interest. All you can do is cut your losses at that time. And who profits when you cut your losses? DYDX profits when you cut your losses. I'm sorry. I love, there's so many elements and different segments to crypto that we just never, ever discuss, because it's not really a get rich quick kind of thing, man. Look, and you know, it's get rich for the exchanges. They dig it. But for the people who are out here trying to slug through this right now, man, shorts and longs are not getting filled too much, and the exchanges and the brokerages, man, they're just absolutely killing it, because they win or lose, they're going to do just fine. Money's on their side. The big banks are on, everything's on their side. If you've ever played Texas Hold'em, I'm going to hearken over to here. I know this is not what we're even talking about tonight, guys, because we actually got something special. But if you ever played Texas Hold'em, the best way to get math on your side, obviously I'm going to say tight and aggressive, but the best thing to have when you're playing Texas Hold'em is the largest stack at the table, because you can miss, but you only need to hit once. So as long as the biggest stack, the money's on your side, time is on your side. In this case, these let's take DYDX for example. They got you covered, babe. They absolutely have you covered. So you can keep going to the trough over and over and over, and you only got to miss once and they're going to liquidate you. And they can absorb all the hits. So they have the largest stack at the table. Again, this is why I do not recommend leverage trading unless you practice. And you practice, and you hope. And don't leverage trade anything that you cannot afford to lose. I mean, you're just like this. It's a slot machine. It didn't work out, and off you go. I've never met a leverage trader that was 100% successful. It just doesn't happen, man. The market is entirely too unpredictable. So, before we press on, Belle, as we always do every show, do we have any questions, comments, or concerns? Because we got some fun stuff coming up.
We do actually have a few questions. First one, and I am skipping around on these guys. Microman is asking, Okay, it's like how a higher sample rate gives you a more accurate measurement of a number, say temperature or speed. Did I understand that properly?
I would say
Yeah, I think
yes,
that's pretty
Emery. Yep.
analogous there. Yeah.
That's a beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, that's perfect, babe. Look, man, the larger sample of pool you have, the more accurate those metrics are going to be. Belle, please carry on.
All right, Microman also asks, what's the reasoning behind that preserving liquidity?
I'll pass it to Emery. Emery's our finance guy.
What's the reason for
Velocity of money.
What's the reason for it? It's just a phenomenon that occurs and we measure it. So um, explaining it maybe just a little bit differently, as you kind of put it, Microman, the larger sample size you have, the more stable it becomes, and the more true to reality your metric is. In the same way, velocity of money, the more often people exchange a particular asset, the more stable it becomes because people know what it's worth. So I hope that answered your question. If not, just re-clarify.
Oh, I was going to drop in. I'm not going to do a drop in. Go ahead, Belle.
All right. So G Torres 1719, osmosis prop number 364, further reduction of liquidity emissions. This prop will lower APRs on pools that pay out specifically in Osmo. Real APR change on Osmo USD pool for X will go from 76% to 62%. Time to buy a little Osmo for the farm?
You know what? I think this is more or less an investment question. And even though we don't give financial advice, Emery, I'm pretty sure you're willing to table this one over to me. There's kind of some fundamentals on both sides that are being hit here. I'm an Osmo guy. Look, I don't apologize for it. I'm an Osmo guy. If you don't want to invest it, it's not your cup of tea. Good, man. Go find something that works for you. But I'm a huge Osmo guy. Now, Osmosis, even though I speak well of it, has a kind of a big glaring problem. It's, you can call it the elephant in the room. You can call it whatever you want. But they have a little bit of a problem with value capture. So anything that will actually kind of lower those APRs, and I'm more than happy to eat 15%. I'm cool with it. I think they're a little high right now as it is. So anything that will slow that inflation a little bit, and 15% on pure Osmo pools will certainly slow that. I'm for it. I'm for it because I'm not looking at tomorrow. I'm looking at 6 months, 9 months, a year down the road on this one. So if you can save me being diluted a little bit, I'm going to be voting thumbs up. I think it's a great idea. I think it's necessary. Emery might have a different opinion. So if you do, Emery, please chime in. But from an investment standpoint, a long-term, a yield farmer investment standpoint, I think it's a good thing. But I'll let Emery chime in on that one.
I think as a lot of you guys know, Osmosis, their economic plan is not a forever plan, nor really should any economic plan be a forever plan.
God, no.
But they do intend to sunset their economic plan in the upcoming years. So whatever they have right now is not going to be the same 6-7 years from now. So anything to lower that inflation will theoretically drive value to it because there's less of the supply coming out. But that's not necessarily the case in the short term. You may not even see those effects until a couple years down the road. So I do like a bit of deflationary aspects in that token, but again, don't expect Osmo to suddenly jump, a week or two from now. It's those effects they can take years, just considering how big the Osmosis platform is. So it's a ripple effect. It's going to take a while to see.
And you know what? For me personally, I'm fine with it. All right. I'm absolutely fine with that because I'm in this one long term. All right. I have a pretty good idea of what they're doing with this. Not because I'm speculating, but because we freaking talk to the developers. And these guys are as tight-lipped as any humans can be. But for some reason, they'll talk to Emery. There's something about his sultry James Earl Jones type voice that people just want to talk to him. I know because I just want to talk to Emery. So yeah, we've plumbed a little bit of this, and honestly, it reinforced my opinion on this one. So I'm willing to give up a little bit of interest now to gain much greater value. 18 months from now. I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with this one. Osmo is my rock. It's my hard place, and I'm looking at this one long term. So that's my opinion on that. One more, Bell, and then we're going to create a liquidity pool after Emery explains it. One more question, Bell.
Crypto Queen, I want to ask about Kava Coin. Is it a good investment? Thanks.
I don't own any, but I think Emery does.
I haven't owned any for almost a year, and I'm not comfortable telling you what's a good investment because I don't know you.
So, is that where we're going to go now? God, you're copping out on this. I can't
tell you whether or not it's a good whether or not it's a good investment is entirely what you think about it. So I can't really tell you. And I think the best thing you can do is read the tokenomics, and if it aligns with your plan in investments, then go for it. If it doesn't, then don't.
I own Kava. I hope that answers the question. That's all I'm going to put on this. It's not a big part of my holdings, but it's part of my portfolio. Hope that answered it. All right. So guys, look, we are an educational and entertainment channel, and right now we're going to do pure education on this. Emery, the man, the myth, the legend, the writer of the Jackal econ model right now is going to explain to you how a liquidity pool works from the ground up and from somebody who took something and made nothing there, or took nothing and made something there. And we're going to do it right after Emery explains it. We're going to create a liquidity pool over on Osmosis Frontier. So, Emery, why don't you explain what we are about to do?
Sure. I hope most of you listening know what a liquidity pool is. That's a large part of what we talk about pretty much every day here. But if you don't know, a liquidity pool, think of it as kind of like a bank. And this bank allows for exchange between a couple of tokens. And liquidity pool has two main functions. One, to get you the tokens that you want, and two, to provide those tokens at a low slippage rate, if at all possible. So what I mean by slip is just basically how much you have to pay to get those tokens. Different from a swap fee. It's basically how much you have to pay to get the other token that you want out of that pool. So if you have token A and you want token B, how much is token A worth in comparison to token B? So we create liquidity pools to make sure that trade is easy and rather seamless between tokens. And if we want to talk about Osmosis, Osmosis has a ton of liquidity pools. I think we're up to like 850 right now. So
there are piles of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and each pool will do something a little bit different. Now, there can be duplicates. Just because you have a pool with token A and token B doesn't mean you can't have multiples of that pool. But a couple of key factors of a liquidity pool is, well, A, the obvious, the tokens. B, the swap fee you can incur from that pool, and C, I think one thing we can't not talk about is impermanent loss. I think we sometimes forget about what that is when we're pooling, but it's a really important factor when deciding to jump in a pool or not. But tonight, I think we're going to create something a little bit different. You don't see a whole lot of these on Osmosis. There are a few, but we are going to create a tri-pool. And what a tri-pool is just a pool of 3 tokens instead of the normal 2 that you see.
Yes, and and I'm sorry, did you have more to add, babe?
No, go for it.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going to be making the 3-way pool here. And this is perfect because Power Bottom's launching very, very soon, even though we might have to rename it. So even though Juno is permissionless, apparently they're not without a little bit of a conscience and brand awareness. So we're thinking BDSM might not work, but we're going to find the next one. But the icon stays. I've already made the T-shirt, so it is, in fact, PB. So look for that. It is a fantastic token. It does nothing. It has absolutely no value. And I'm excited, man. It's the podcast. The podcasts. What's a B? Give me a B word, Bell, because this is the podcast something token. So anyway, guys. You're over here looking, and this is why I'm just dragging this out, why Bell thinks up a B word. So we're going to come over here on Osmosis Frontier. We're going to go to pools, and we're going to click here to start the process. That's how easy this is. So it's a minimum of 2 assets required because this is an AMM. So, of course, you're going to have to add multiple assets. So the first pool token that we're going to add in here is we're going to add Fetch. Now, there is actually a reason for this pool. So we're not randomly selecting tokens. There's a reason for this. But we're going to add Fetch. We are going to add Bitcana, one of my personal favorite pet projects. And, I don't know. I guess we could put Jackal in there. I think I have some Jackal loose. So because this is a symmetrical pool, we got to break this up evenly. So we're going to add... make it on this side. We're going to put in 33% on the Fetch. We're going to put in 33% on the Bitcana. And we're going to put 34% right here on the Jackal. Now, pool creation fee transferred to the Osmosis community pool is going to be 100 Osmo. It's not free to do this, guys. You got to pay to do this. But we're more than happy to do it because our videos make so much money. I don't know if you know this about me, but if you think 60 to 70 views per YouTube video is easy, I invite you to try that. Just saying, we're kind of a big deal. So we're happy to put out the cost on this. So we're going to add, I'll tell you what, man, we're going to put in 1,600, and you have to have the tokens to start the pool. Isn't that funny how that works? We're going to put in 1,600 FET. We're going to put in 5,900 Bitcana, and we're going to put in 165 Jackal. So there it is. There's our pool. You guys can see the initial offering on this. I understand that creating a pool will cost 100 Osmo. I can't actually click that until I put in the swap fee. So we're going to go with 0.25. Emery, do you think that's a reasonable swap fee on this?
Yeah, I think it's kind of in the middle. A lot of tokens kind of start trading on 0.2 or 0.3.
Okay, then you know what? We're splitting the difference, and we're going to create the pool. Now I got to sign it. Now here's the bear, because I have to pay a whole bunch of Osmo on this one. So we're going to create this pool right now. I have the Osmo in my wallet. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. And after this is done and complete, you guys out of gas. What? Gas wanted 3,500. Emery! I'm very disappointed. Now I have to do this twice. All right, we're going to hit next, next, create pool. I understand. Yes, not a problem. We're going to go with
add a little bit more gas, maybe.
We're going to go with the high gas fee, and we're going to try this again. If this blanks out,
advanced, and just add a 0.
I'm about to. If it beeps out again, dude, we're gonna kick it out of gas. I'm very disappointed here, Emery. You have disappointed me, sir.
Do you have Osmo?
Let's take a look here. Kepler, wait for
That's
it.
More than 100.
I have 254 available Osmo. That would suggest to me that I do, in fact, have more than 100.
Yeah, advance and add a couple zeros, maybe.
Yeah, we're going to kick a couple. We're going to pay the big bucks here. So we're going to go to advanced Osmo. We're going to kick on a 0 and another one. I'm going to pay $1.55 for this, dude. $1.55. That's a lot of gas. That's the most gas that's ever... Too much gas. I'm loving this, dude.
Did it say too much gas?
It said too much gas. Everybody on the live, if anybody on the stream who was watching this can confirm it, please confirm to Emery that I tried to overpay and it refused.
Maybe
it.
Just 1 0 this time.
We'll try just 1 0. 14 cents. Here we go. Waiting for transaction to be included in the block. Wait for it. Transaction succeeds, and congratulations. So what I want to see right now, dude, because now our pool is up. It's
Did it
live.
tell you the pool number?
Nope.
I guess you gotta go find it then.
I gotta search for it. So let's look for all the Jackal pools. Sort by Jackal. The only thing that's up there right now is Jackal Osmo. Let's try the old refresh. Let's try to put this thing back together and actually find the pool. I'm curious if my 100 Osmo left my wallet. Let's take a look here. Yep, sure enough, guys, we had 254, now we have 154. So this pool was in fact created, and the money was paid for it. So let's take a look at Jackal pools, and 3 token pool. You guys see that right there with $315 into it. Now Emery's going to do something really cool if he can get on, because he said he's going to add to this pool. So Emery, per our agreement, I want to see that pool liquidity go up. Remember what we were talking about? And while you're doing this, we're going to go ahead and take some questions. So, Belle, what you got?
All right. So, TIW90, do you think regulations on POS crypto will make Bitcoin king?
No. I'm not a regulation guy. You know what? We actually have a tweeter thing, and I type little random thoughts into that, as you do, because it's Twitter. And if you've been following the podcast's tweeter thing, I'm not a fan of regulation at all because, look, to defer over to regulation is just, it's almost ludicrous at this point. You know what? SBF was literally sitting in the office of Gary's office, and they've been talking about crypto regulation and and the SEC. Well, we did a serious investigation, and we really dug into it, and we didn't see any red flags. So, considering that these two were shaking hands and hugging and bro hugging and kissing and all that, and yet they completely missed FTX, seems to indicate to me that regulations don't work. So as much as I like to allow people to be protected from themselves, I don't think it's necessary. No regulation. All right, I don't believe in regulation. I believe in education. If we had an educated crypto audience, now I'm not talking about the podcast people. You guys got this. All right, you guys got this. But I'm talking about the central exchange people that effectively have no damn idea, what they are actually doing, what crypto is, how blockchain works. They have no idea. You know what they know? They heard from a guy or watched Tom Brady commercial and said, you need to invest in FTX. You're going to make a lot of money. That's all they know. That's it. It's the lure of easy money. That's how these Ponzi's continue to function. It's how these meme tokens continue to function. The promise of easy wealth. That's all they want. So you don't want to actually dig in too much into the roots, into the nuts like we do here on this channel. You don't want to do that because you're going to scare people away. So where I say education, I want you to answer this honestly. If 80% of the crypto market actually had let's just call it a hot wallet, just any kind of wallet, could FTX have been able to do what they did? And the answer is no. You know it's not. So regulation is not going to fix that. But if crypto was more educated, FTX would have never had the opportunity to do what they did, or BNB, or Voyager, or Celsius, or BlockFi, or any Genesis, any of the just critical amount of central exchanges that are failing right now. They would have never even had the opportunity. How many DeFi exchanges have failed because of this? I'm waiting. How many DeFi exchanges have gone down because they were over-leveraged? Leverage. Listen to me, it's like I'm raising my pinky. How many DeFi exchanges have crashed because of this? The only one I can think of even remotely offhand is SwiftChain, and that was their own doing. That was what they chose to do with their crazy-ass monetary policies and rugging their project. But aside from direct influence like that, Uniswap is still up. Osmosis is still up. All these guys are still up. So, no, it's not regulation, it's education. And if people knew enough or were confident enough to take care of their own damn money, this would have never happened because it couldn't have happened. Period. That's it. It's not your tokens, not your keys, not your tokens, and therefore you can't manipulate them. FTX did none of these things. Your money became their money. They decided to do what they wanted to do because you didn't know any damn different. You created the conditions, and the conditions went south. It happened here. It happened in 2008, 9, 10. Again, it's nothing unusual about this. But all of the regulation that exists right now in the most heavily regulated industry in existence is banking. So are you going to suggest to me that regulation is going to keep banking from going tits up again? They've done it regularly every 10 to 15 years. So there you go. Hope that answered the question. Belle, please carry on.
Andrew, how about addressing all the tubers saying not your keys, not your crypto, but they are promoting I Trust Capital Roth IRA? Doesn't this go against that?
Little bit. But you guys, we've spent a lot of time talking about this, man, and I'm going to continue talking about it. Look, I don't mind. I have no problem staying where we are because our content is never really going to springboard us out. Not to mention that I'm mildly obnoxious. I recognize it. I don't care. I'm cool with it.
I'd like to chime in something.
Okay,
though.
No, go, you go, because I was about to rant, dude. You don't want to.
You can have an
get
IRA
the way
that's non-institutional with your crypto if you want. That's totally doable.
Explain. You can't just leave that out there.
Yeah. You can put all of your crypto into an IRA. An IRA is just a wrapper for your money. It's telling you what you can and can't do with your money at a particular time. And with various exceptions of what you can invest it in. That's like, how you can transfer it. So it's still your money. You can invest it how you want to. You may get penalized like any other IRA depending on how you invest it. But you can have. I mean, I have one. I have an IRA crypto wallet that's fully mine. I'm in control of it. I made the hot wallet a while ago, and you can do whatever you want with it. So if you need help with that or not quite sure, then I can definitely explain more. But if you go into some institutions, they'll make the wallet for you and then invest it. If you don't want that, you don't have to do that. Absolutely, but you can control your own IRA.
Yeah, and I know where Bell was going with that question. I know why that question was asked, Emery. It's not from somebody with your knowledge that would be pushing in. It would be somebody who didn't know anything. And yes, I'm sure they would love to create a wallet for you. And you put your money in the wallet, and then you're going. They would love to do that. That's the direction we were going. You are such a glasses half full kind of guy, dude. This is why I think it's Hannity and Combs here, man. I see. I'm half empty. You're half full. We will never see eye to eye on this because you know damn good and well why they asked that question. And you went, "Oh no, man. I'm sure it's altruistic." You don't. I'm good and well.
No,
it's not altruistic.
I'm not talking about altruism as in like they'll handle your wallet. I'm talking about you can handle your own wallet.
You should handle your own wallet, but that's not why they're making the offer. Because if they create that wallet for you, guess who's got keys? Both of you. That's it, babe. That's it. All right, carry on, Bell.
If you didn't know otherwise, you can make your own wallet. Just educational.
But you know they don't know otherwise. What are we? Okay, go ahead, Bell. I'm going to
Gustav Smith. Gustav Smith, do asymmetrical pools exist?
Yes. Emery, go ahead. Elaborate, man. You're the finance.
Yeah, they absolutely do exist. Look at SifChain.
Look at Crescent. Well, look at SifChain. No, man. They balance the pools, kind of.
Did they?
Look, I'm sorry. I got to caveat this. Don't look at SifChain. All right? Just big. You know what? Here, I got sound effect. I'm just saying. But you're a fully functional adult. If you want to do you do you. If you think SifChain's got a future, man, knock yourself out. Not me personally. I'm not invested in it. I'll just leave it there. Carry on. Crescent's got asymmetrical pools. They got weighted pools. So, that's different though, man. So there's asymmetrical pools. Yeah. And there's some that are by design. Now, the way SifChain did it,
they did it in a very interesting way. I'll say that.
You know what? We're just gonna default to unique. They did it in a very unique way that managed to just pull the shit out of every single one of their investors. Man, that was unfortunate. Now there's weighted pools. If you take a look over here on Crescent, let's take a look right here. It's probably easier to show them. We're gonna go third screen here, Belle. So I have to let her know because she sends me emails or texts and yells at me like during the stream. I don't know what frame you're on, because there's a delay on YouTube from the time that she sees it. So, yeah, if you guys come over here and take a look at Crescent's real good about that. So they're ranged weighted pools right here, like Atom B, Cree, IST. IST, dude, by the way. There's a pool up there over on Crescent. I love what Crescent's doing. And by the way, guys, Crescent is going to bring something so unique over here to the DeFi that I'm not even sure about this one. Emery and I are going to sit down and talk about it long and hard because they're talking about now not just liquid staking, but liquid LPing. I'm concerned a little bit. Now, again, Emery's my guy for this, man, so I'd probably be pushing it over his way. But Crescent has stayed ahead of all of this stuff. It's unfortunate because I think they're an excellent deck. They got some really good pools in here. They got an order book. They are literally trying to be what a central exchange is, and they're bringing you all those tools. But sometimes I think they might be going just a little bit off the rails, and I'm trying to figure out liquid LPing. Emery is going to help me out with that. Anyway, see all these little things.
Your pool liquidity went up by $1, by the way.
Because I rock, dude. Because that is the thing to be, guys. By the way, I should change I should put Jackal first, so I had the Jackal moniker on there instead of the Fetch. And by the way, guys, the reason that we went with those 3 tokens is because those 3 tokens have the podcast validators. Not telling you to stake with us. In fact, if you're on Bicana, we're a top 10 validator, so I would say that you probably shouldn't stake with us. Decentralization is decentralization. I'm a big fan and I believe in it. So if you see us and we are way, way the hell up there, I would say look for somebody else. The reason that we're doing this is because we are heavily invested in these projects, and I trust Belle to manage my money. Belle is our validator person. So I trust her to be on her P's and Q's to make sure my money's managed. That's the reason that we're doing it. We're heavily invested in these projects, and that's why we stood up validators. I just trust myself more than anything else. But if you see us, Emery, who should you validate with? Who should you choose as a validator? Someone you trust, someone you can verify. But
a lot of validators have websites. You should look at those. And you also might see the same validator on multiple networks too. So if you see there are multiple networks, they probably know what they're doing. So that's something to look into.
They're professional validators, but my default position is always going to be find the best validator you can find way down on the bottom. The idea of decentralization is that we spread that voting power as much as we can. Now, we have a lot of voting power on a few chains. So, yeah, if you happen to see us over there, man, look, we're going to take care of your money very, very well. But I would personally say don't stake with us. Stake with somebody lower down the chain. Let's spread the wealth around a little bit. That's decentralization. We're big fans. All right, Belle, questions or comments?
Makokata Streamwalker, how do you set up internal and external rewards in your new tri-pool?
I have no damn idea, dude. None. I bet Emery knows, though, because Emery's kind of a Jackal guy. Emery, why don't you answer that question? I'm not putting 50 grand behind this pool, dude. I'm just not to incentivize it.
Yeah, it's definitely possible to put in external rewards. This is Osmosis Frontier that touts itself as permissionless, and it's more semi-permissionless.
Yeah, there you go.
You do have to ask the Osmo team to approve your external rewards coming in. So you can do it. It's just not as easy as just doing what we just did. So it takes a little bit of time. Might take a few hours up to a day to do it, but it's possible.
Yes, because BDM was going to go up. BDSM was going to go up live on there, but we decided to go to Juno because even though I'm a big Osmo guy, I want to support DeFi as much as possible. So my personal token, the podcast BDSM Power Bottom, is going to be going live on Juno Swap. There you go. Belle, please carry on.
Renee, do you earn the swap fees or are they going to the pool?
Emery, go. It's all you, babe. I'm going to set this out completely.
You earn the swap fees. Those go to the users.
They do. Mm-hmm. Carry on, Belle.
Microman, could you regulate so that a SEX has to at least offer new customers a hot wallet? Even Crypto.com promotes their DeFi wallet.
I think I'll take this one. I'm not a fan of regulation. You know what I'm a fan of? I'm a fan of people taking care of their own business. You hear me say this on this program once in a while. Once in a while, Bill. How important is your money to you? And there's a reason that I kind of defer over to that direction, even though I understand it's very, very general. How important is your money to you? Do you trust yourself, or do you trust somebody else to take care of your money for you? I think this is an important distinction. Now, I'm not talking about a money manager. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about an altruistic, wealthy person that just wants to get into crypto but doesn't really want to learn it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. I'm going big screen. Talking about you personally. How important is your money to you? How important is the education to you? How important is it to you to actually learn blockchain, like the ins and outs, like creating a liquidity pool, how it works, why it works? How important is this stuff to you? Now, for me personally, this is kind of my life. So it's incredibly important to me to actually understand this, fundamentals of economics. And we're talking about Econ 0, Econ 1, Econ 2, micro, macro, velocity, psychic money, things like this. It's important for me to understand this because I want to have all of the information that I can possibly get because my money is very, very important to me. But I'm not doing anything that you can't do. And I understand it sounds like work, and it sucks. Nobody wants to work. Crypto is not about work. Crypto is about hip and cool and fun and Lambos and $10 million worth of Rolexes. That's what crypto is. That's what crypto, the representation of crypto. But it's not what blockchain is. And blockchain is, believe it or not, difficult. And if you don't believe that, FTX, Voyager, Celsius, BlockFi, Genesis. Do I need to go on? Because, guys, believe it or not, right now, there are people that are literally jumping out of fucking windows because you have jagoffs out here that think it's plaything, that just thinks it's fun, that they're just in on the scam. And that's not what crypto is about. It's never been what it's about. But when you take this same celebrity bullshit status, wrap it up in a fucking gold chain. I'm done. Go ahead, Bell. I'm sorry. I was really going to go off here, man. You have no idea how much this pisses me off, all this shit that's going on, because it was fucking avoidable. Carry on, Bell.
All right. Baron Von Blair hit us with a $10 super chat saying, I love being a farmer. Here's some fruit. Much love from California.
I appreciate it, guys. The tips don't go to me. I don't need your money. They do go to Bell, though. Please carry on.
2 brain cells. When I go to Jackal website and try to pull up the dashboard, it states that it is a password protected website and asks for a password. Does anyone know how to get around this?
You know what? I'm going to bring you a team member from Jackal. I'm going to bring him on right now. Emery.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. I think you're going to take a pass on it. Emery's not tech. He's econ, but Emery does. He knows some people in Jackal. So Emery, please.
You can't get around the password because the dashboard's not up. The dashboard will be up when the storage providers come online. That's what the dashboard is for.
And when is the storage providers coming online, Emery? I know. I saw your tweet. I have a pretty good idea. But go ahead and say it out loud.
Yeah, we're looking at before the end of the year. So the dashboard will be open, no password needed. So once the dashboard is open and ready, nothing you need to do besides follow the instructions there to get your data on the Jackal platform.
And when does it go to testnet?
Testnet is coming extremely soon.
Extremely soon?
Week.
Is it going to be an open test?
Anyone who wants to test it on testnet can. If you have a testnet Jackal node that is operational, then you can do it.
Yeah. Whose servers are going to be hosting the testnet? You can say it. We both.
I have a server that's toasting it.
We all know. All right, I'm sorry, man. Look, guys, I'm going big screen for this. I'm sorry, guys. I did lose my shit there just a little bit. I don't want to resort to vulgarity. We're not that kind of channel. We're not a shock and awe channel kind of shit. But there's so much stuff that is so easily avoidable, and it literally makes me ill, man. I cannot stand some of the stuff that's happening, man, and it just because it was so avoidable. So I do apologize for that, guys. This is not what we do. I'm sorry. Belle, please carry on.
All right. So Andrew, if I grab an empty trust wallet, how do I get it to qualify as an IRA? Would love more info, Emery.
Is this something you can answer quick, Emery?
Yes, I recommend going to a local lawyer who specializes in that and asking them to draft the legal documents for you. So again, someone local, so that it's not a big chain trying to make your wallet their wallet.
Make your wallet their wallet. Carry on, Belle.
Microman, you can stake with multiple validators, right? Diversify your diversity.
Yes, I'm going on this one. You know what? We have podcast validators that are up kind of all over the in at least those 3 tokens. There's one up on Bitcana, big fan. There's one up on Fetch, big fan. There's one up on Jackal, big fan. But yes, all of my personal money is not staked on my personal validator. Guys, I absolutely believe this. All right, I absolutely believe that decentralization means decentralization. All right, the more we get personally anywhere in this to centralization, we are that much one step closer to freaking FTX. We are one step closer to Coinbase. We're one step closer to people being disassociated with their money. They just put it in because even DeFi people will just put it in because I know this guy, because I've seen this, because I watched the podcasts. Even with that, I'm literally cutting my own throat because it costs me money to keep validators up. I'm literally cutting my own throat. But I think it's important. And even I personally, you see my wallets. I show them to you guys. Even I personally don't have all of my money on podcast validators. How shit all stupid is that? But I believe in this. I believe in what we're doing out here. I believe in what we are trying to build. And I'm going to support it any way that I can, including at my own expense. So, yes, you do you. I'm sorry. Emery's going to send me emails afterwards. He said, dude, you can't say that. But you know what? I don't care. I got it out. Bell, please carry on.
Armando Delgado, Emery, what would you ask me as a tax pro if I do DeFi crypto?
Oh, you're going to love this.
What would I ask you? I would ask you if you're keeping track of all of your transactions.
God, no,
because please don't make me do all of that.
I'm going big screen.
If you give me a wallet and say, have at it, track my transactions for me, you're getting charged $1,000 an hour.
And here's what I do. I'm big screen, Bell. I give him he's already got my RNS. Emery's has my RNS, and I just say, dude, you do you. All right. I believe in letting people exercise their expertise. Emery is 100% an expert in what he does. He's licensed. The government says, yeah, this guy's cool. So I just say, go for it. And when we're done, just tell me how much. But you don't want to do that. I'm cool with it. He's, Emery and I are friends. I'm cool with it. But, dude, he charges the shit out of me. So you might want to track this stuff yourself. Carry on, Bell.
Jesse Argenziano, how are we writing off the Rowan loss, or do we deal with it?
Oh, Emery, that's you, dude.
You can write off so much of a capital loss every year on your taxes, and if you go over that limit, you can go into the next year. So I don't remember what next year's limits are. But if you lose money on that capital all throughout the year, maybe this isn't just Rowan. This is if you have a total capital loss in one single year, then you can write off some of that money. So just because you lost on Rowan doesn't mean you get a tax write-off. You have to have had a net capital loss out through all of your investments the whole year.
How many years can I carry that net capital loss off? Because you know what happened here, right? We've talked about this.
You can keep going until you exhaust it.
Okay, so I can go for about 35 years. We're pretty much good on this one, right? We just pile it all up. You know what, guys? Look, man, that's not a bad thing. I'm going to be I'm a glass is half full type of investor. So my risk tolerance just got wider because I know I'm writing off a good fixed amount year after year after year. PMTP was bad. That's all I got to say in lock-in periods. There's a reason I don't really like to get into those anymore. Bell, please carry on.
Makoka to Streamwalker, Emery, can you destroy, unlist the pool you created? Do pools disappear with zero funds?
No, they don't. They stay there. Once
I'm in it.
Once created, it's there on the blockchain forever.
That's mine, and I've already lost $16 on this because it's down to 302. I had it at 318. How am I losing money on this pool, dude? Look. Look,
the value of our tokens are going down.
But how is that possible, dude? We got a candle. Look, it's a little candle, guys, but I'm at 15 minutes and scrolled out over 7 days. But we have a candle, and if you look on the big screen here, you can see that Atom is up 20 cents since we started, which is going to carry up every one of these tokens with the exception of Fetch. But at least part of this side of these pools are going up. So how the hell did I lose $16 already, Emery? Why don't you explain that, Emery? Well, tell me. Tell me how I lost money already, dude. Come on, man. Dazzle me.
The value of your tokens went down. So this
sucks, man. This sucks. I already the shit that I do for YouTube. Bell, please carry on.
Makoka to Streamwalker, Scott, have you looked at the wrapped BNB LP on Osmosis?
Yep, I'm in it. I'm in a big, dude. At 127%. Now, let me caveat this a little bit. All right, there is an off. I don't know if you guys have been following the news, and I actually had some news articles brought up because we are going to do it kind of like a day stream, but I've been having so much fun just putting out information. I didn't want to do it. Belle, are we doing this right? You are the producer of the show. Do you like the flow? Do you like what we're doing, or would you like us to do news? Because I can do either way. And you've sent me shit for text, so I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here.
I do like the flow.
Okay. Okay. What was the question again? I just derailed myself.
If you were in the wrapped B&B LP on
yes,
Osmosis.
127%. Look, man. I'm a big fan of blue chips right now. Currently, as the way the market sits, I'm a huge fan of blue chips. I am pushing into Bitcoin. I'm pushing into wrap. These are all wrap tokens, by the way, over on Osmosis personally. I'm pushing bigger into wrap Bitcoin. I'm pushing bigger into wrapped Ethereum. I'm going into DOT. DOT has just been a fantastic investment for me from the time that I started that one. So I'm pushing more into DOT and BNB, 127%. Are you shitting me on this? 127% on BNB. Now, here's the caveat. BNB is a central exchange. All right, I'm sorry. You guys know what these guys are about. Now, they might be the powerhouse right now. They might be. CZ might have seen this the whole way. He's just going to take this thing and make it explode. But one of the important things I advise any of my people to remember is what you're investing in. And with all of the foolishness and silliness that's going on in crypto right now, do you really want to tie yourself to a central exchange? Now, again, my risk tolerance is massive. I'm fine with it because I get to write off a lot of money every single year. Rowan was not good to me. But know your investments. So even though it's up there, it's good. It's the flash. Everybody's excited. All of this stuff right now. Just keep in mind what you're invested in. There you go. Belle, please carry on.
Leanson, Scott, will you be providing storage to Jackal when they have the storage module up?
Carry on, Belle. I signaled it. Look, I touched the end of my nose. That means yup. Carry on, Belle.
Jesse Argenziano hit us with a $4.20 super chat saying, thanks for the great answer.
Jesse smokes dope. Just like that. See that? I am such a sleuth. I know Jesse smokes dope. Thank you, sir. Carry on, Belle.
That was actually the last question and comment for the moment.
You know what? That's fantastic because we are coming to the end of the show. So I'm going to take, I'll tell you what, we're going to go do this different. Emery's going to get the all the words out right now. Anything you need to say, Emery, now is a fantastic time to say it.
Yeah, sure. Again, thanks guys for coming on. We had a blast showing you how LPs are created in Osmosis. I hope that was educational and very informative. Jackal testnets for storage will be coming up real soon here next week. We'll be testing the heck out of it to make sure that it's safe and usable for everyone who wants to take part in our mainnet storage solutions. So if you have any questions about how that works, please either shoot me an email or ask us in the Jackal Discord. We answer things as much as we possibly can. And I hope to be on here again really soon. I miss being on here regularly like I used to be. So I intend on being on here at the very least twice a week again.
Dude, it adds such a great element to the show. It really does, man, because I'm like the irrational one all of a sudden. And by the way, I did see that comment, and yeah, dude, I'm in Crow. Come on. Come on. Why would you even ask that question? Yes, I'm in Crow because I get 54% over here and it pays in Osmo. So, you know what? It's a love-hate relationship, but yes, I am. Yeah, dude, it rounds out the show wonderfully, even though you are wrong about so many things philosophically. And I don't make the rules, dude. It's not my show, all right? It's everybody's show
we'll
now.
Compare wallets one day.
No, because I don't. No. You know, we could. You know what? I see the path for this. We will compare wallets, but I need about 6 months. Give me 6 months and we're going to break them out. I think I'm invested better than you are. I just say it, dude. It's going to work out. It's going to work out for the Scott. That's why I wear ties now. All right. With that, guys, I'm not going to go big screen. We're going to turn it over to Belle. She's going to talk us up, talk us out. And I had a wonderful time, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Questions, comments, Scott@thepodcast.com. I answer any and all emails. Makes me feel very, very special. Belle, please take us out of here.
All right. Gustav, thank you very much for the $20 last minute super chat. That is very, very much appreciated. Now, guys, we really do hope you got a lot out of this show tonight. Welcome back, Emery. If you guys have any more questions for either Scott, Emery, or myself, definitely don't hesitate to shoot us all emails. Scott@thepodcasts.com, Emery@thepodcasts.com, or Bella@thepodcasts.com, and we will get those answered for you. Now, with that being said, Scott will be back on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Nope, I'm not on tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right. Again, guys, we do seriously appreciate each and every one of you guys. We do, again, hope you got a lot out of this. Again, don't hesitate to come to us with questions, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.